and how did you get interested in aviation?
Well, I got interested in aviation back when I was younger. My dad, he was a pilot, and he had me around airplanes from when I was small. He would take me by the hangar and look at some of the airplanes by the airport. He worked for the National Flag Carrier, so some days, like Sundays or weekends, we would go over to the hangar and he would take a look at the airplanes and he'd carry me along with him. And then that passion just grew and evolved over the years. And when I became when I became 15 years old, uh, I got a more clear understanding of airplanes, and I wanted to know more about airplanes and just generally everything about the industry. And he bought his first airplane when I was about 16 years old. It was a 9-seater airplane, piston airplane, and he would take me flying with him, and that fueled my passion for aviation even more. And I just built on it and developed my flying skills over the years until the point that I went off to flight school and took it from there.
Where did you go to earn your licenses or ratings? Where did you train?
I went to a school for Lauderdale, a flight school in Fort Lauderdale back in 2010, that January. I went there. I got all my licenses from my private straight up to my flight instructor license. It took about six months. I got everything done, and that's the platform I started from all my flying. I gained a lot of knowledge and experience from the instructors there in the school there, and I added it to the skills and knowledge I got from my dad while flying, and it benefited me in the long run, and I'm still using it today.
Whilst growing up, what did you do to stay motivated and educate yourself about aviation?
One of the things that helped me to stay motivated and educated was I did a lot of reading. Um, Anything that I could get my hands on pertaining to flying, I did. Whereas books just talking about airplanes or how to fix them or different pilot stories, that kept my interest going, and I would watch a lot of movies and airplane videos, and also I purchased a computer software that allowed me to actually fly the airplanes in a simulated world, uh, which was my first simulator I bought was Flight Simulator 95, and then over the years I came up with later versions, and it's through using the simulators and reading books I was able to be motivated and keep pursuing my passion towards reaching my goal as a pilot.
When exactly or how did your career in aviation start? Like after you came out of flight school?
Well, after flight school, I always knew I wanted to be a corporate pilot, do private flying. I never was interested in too much of the airline industry. I always wanted to do private flying. And when I came out of flight school, my dad, we had a family business already going and already started. So uh, I just started flying with him because he flies a lot of private charter flights. Despite him doing a scheduled service, sort of a mini airline on the side, I was more into flying the private side. So on the private flights, I would get a first-hand view on how things are conducted and how things are done, and I would take it from there. And I use that to also help myself become a better person from learning from him how he fly, because corporate flying is a more detailed way of flying um, per se. So um, I was able to learn a lot of things through him and get my career started through flying with him in the private industry.
Well, how come you were more interested in corporate flying as opposed to regular commercial scheduled flying?
Uh, to me personally, it's just my choice. I just take to it more. I like uh, the, the perks that comes with it. I like meeting uh, different people from all walks of life. I love um, flying different places. the sense of owning my own airplane and being able to offer service to people who would like to travel privately. Um, that's where what drives me more into the industry, and the private industry, you have more opportunity to grow in this industry. If you, as if you're in the airline, you get to experience more and do more for yourself personally, especially if you own your own aircraft. So all of that help influence me and keeps me going to stay a part of the private world and continue to build on it.
What is a regular day at work like for you?
Regular day at work would be first off, a client would call. They would call and reserve a flight, and then once they reserve a flight, uh, we come out to the airport about 2 to 3 hours before the flight. We get the airplanes prepared, check weather, make sure we have fueling and proper documentation is done. So when the client comes, all they do is just we meet them at the FBO and we walk straight to the airplane, get our clearance and go. But typically that's it. We get our proper documentation, we get our food and catering done before the client comes. We check the weather again, and we make sure everything's okay with the airplane. And it sounds like a little bit of stuff, but it can take up a lot of your time because it's a very you have to make sure everything's on point. So because you're offering a higher level of service, so you want to make sure everything is just perfect. So I would say that's typically how it is. Have everything ready for the client comes, like 2 to 3 hours before the client comes. Uh, we come to the airplane, prepare everything, and when the client shows up, we're ready for flight. So, and that's typically how it goes.
Flying corporately, what has been one of the most, say, scariest or exciting days or flights?
Uh, for the most part, the most exciting thing is seeing a customer satisfied. That's one of the most exciting things for me in the corporate world. The scariest thing is not being on time and disappointing the customer, because in the private corporate world you only have one chance, and that's your first impression, and you always make your first impression the best. And if I was to, and which I have at one point in my career so far, I've disappointed a client, that's a complete disaster for me. So that's basically it.
What all aircraft have you flown in your career so far?
So far I've flown a Cessna 172. I've flown a Piper Seneca, Piper Navajo Chieftain. I flew Challenger 300, and I'm currently now flying Cessna Citation and a Piper Navajo, and also I flew the Aztec, Piper Aztec as well.
Mm-hmm. Quite a few. And how long have you been flying now in total?
I've been flying about 5 years.
Okay.
5 years. Yep. About 5 years.
In those 5 years, what has been the scariest thing that's ever happened to you whilst flying?
The scariest thing that has happened to me was, I would say, with aviation, where my passion for aviation is so strong, I really don't get scared. But a situation that has troubled me before is I flew into some weather. When I first started flying, I flew into some weather from here. I was heading to in here in Anagua, and I didn't have a radar on board to aid me in navigating the weather. But when I took off from Nassau, I checked the weather and everything was fine. But when I got past Exuma, between Exuma and the Edmonds Key, the southern part of Long Island, storm was. I saw it from a distance that a storm was brewing, and I saw the top of the clouds just starting to expand, and it was wide. It was really wide. And when I checked the weather again, called for isolated storms, scattered clouds, partly cloudy, isolated showers. and along my route it looked clear, it looked okay. A few bumps here and there from the clouds, but it looked okay for the most part. But once I got past Exuma, things just started to I caught the storm in a developing stage, almost at a mature stage, and it was either turn back or go through the storm. So I had to make a decision, and it wasn't necessarily a storm, but it was a little bit of weather, like rain, a heavy rain and windy. So all I just did was I looked for the softest spot, easy penetrable area, and I was able to penetrate the storm just slightly a little bit, but it wasn't bad, and I was able to maneuver my way around it and head direct onto Inagua. But almost being caught almost in the heart of the storm, and that was the scariest thing because it the cloud that storm today that looked pretty bad, but I was able to move around it and just experience a little bit of rain shower and a little bit of wind.
So what was one of your most exciting flights, as in flights that you really enjoyed above most of the others, or that was really memorable to you?
The most memorable flight I've had so far in my career is me and my dad. We flew Piper Navajo from Nassau to the Dominican Republic. That was the most memorable moment I've had so far. The scenery was great. Also, I've never flown to the Dominican Republic, so flying down there was a new experience, and it opened up my eyes more to as where I could fly to being privately, because in the private world again, people from all walks of life wants to go different places all around the world. They want to go South America, through the Caribbean, the United States, whereas airlines, for the most part, they have a set route. So being part of going to different places, that what also drives me to the private aspect, and that from that flight alone, what marked my memorable moment so far, that's a part of what keeps me going in the private industry. But that flight to the Dominican Republic that day was great. That was excellent. That's my most memorable moment.
You'd say your favorite thing about aviation is being able to see new places and meeting people?
Yes, meeting new people and flying to different areas, to different countries around the world. Those are the two most things I love about my career.
And is there anything that you dislike about aviation?
No, I love everything. From the stress to the joys to the exciting moments, I love everything.
Yeah, so that's true passion. True
Yes.
passion. What would you like to see change, or what would you like to see different in aviation in the Bahamas?
I would like to see improvement to airports, to the different airports through the islands. And I would like to see more investment into the aviation sector, such as air traffic control, because I feel as though we could improve air traffic safety in the Bahamas. We could do a lot. That would be a huge plus for us, and also invest in the different airports around the islands, and which could attract more tourism and more income for private flyers throughout the world to come and fly down in the Bahamas. So basically, the whole aviation infrastructure, as far as air traffic control and airport development, um, that's one of the things I like to see take place in the Bahamas.
What advice or counsel would you give to a young person or someone who is interested in aviation, coming up and getting into that industry or that field?
My advice to that young person is to stay encouraged, uh, pursue your dreams. I did. No matter what, I always knew in my heart I wanted to be a pilot. Whatever it took, whatever it takes, I was willing to. Once I had that will, and once you have that will, you could achieve anything. And basically, what also kept me, what also advice I would give to a person is to have God first, because where I had God first in my life, He was able to bless me and create avenues for me to take me and lead me to the road I am today, the road to the aviation career in the aviation industry. So I would say keep God in your life, keep yourself engaged uh, in prayer, and stay motivated. Surround yourself with positivity. Speak to those who are also engaged in industry, like pilots or mechanics or anyone who's engaged in industry. Just talk to them and do a lot of reading too. You could do a lot of reading to help. It could help you in the long run and benefit you too. So for me, I know that what kept me engaged and what I got from other people, older people when I was younger about the industry. I talked to pilots and mechanics as well, and they would also encourage me and drop a little thoughts into my spirit, and I just take it and manifest it, and I just grew upon it, and here I am today.
Hmm. Makes sense. Seems good. Well, thanks a lot for the advice and answering all the questions, giving listeners an inside look to the corporate world in of aviation in the Bahamas. Where can they find you or be able to contact you or your business?
Uh, well, we have a family company, Performance Air. It's run by my dad, my sister, myself. Uh, you could find us on the web at www.performance-air.com, or you can contact us via email at performance_air@hotmail.com, or you could call the office number at 242-341-3281, and we'll be delighted in answering all your questions and getting you and your family airborne in a safe and reliable and courteous manner.